To break down the latest on the legislation, I'm joined now by our political contributor, Tremel Gomes. And Tremel, can you tell us a little bit about what changes this legislation would mean?
Well, if you were following the healthcare scandal, and I know you were, with the VA and all of those issues coming down, even our own governor, Governor Rick Scott, has been calling for the Veterans Affairs Secretary to be fired or to have him resign. Well, Marco Rubio stepped out in front, and he really wanted to do something in advance of Memorial Day, which was just yesterday, but the Senate blocked. The Senate Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman, Bernie Sanders, blocked that effort, saying that how they haven't had a chance to really go through this bill, and will take care of this in the coming weeks in June.
And what's Senator Rubio's connection to veterans?
Well, what he's trying to do, unfortunately, he's claiming that how this process will not be politicized, but what he will stand to gain is really being upfront and showing that he's able to stand up for veterans. As someone who's in heavy talks of running for president and throwing his hat in the race to be considered as a strong candidate, this was something that he will be able to carry to show that how, hey, he is standing for those who fought for the country. And that's why he was rushing to get that in place for Memorial Day. But they will have a hearing in June, according to the Senate Committee Chairman.
Okay, and moving to a topic that we weren't able to get to last week, the Georgia primary election. What did you take away from that?
Well, it was a crowded field of Republicans for the Senate primary to replace Senator Saxby Chambliss. Well, what came down, they have a businessman, Jack Perdue, who is coming out, and he was the lead coming out of that race. So going ahead, this is a historical for that Georgia Senate seat, because they're going to be campaigning for 9 weeks, and this is going to be intense, and we'll see how it all turns out. And the Democratic nominee, Michelle Nunn, she's just sitting back and watching the Republicans spar away until that general election comes up.
Any predictions?
Right now, the businessman, he's ahead, Mr. Perdue, so that's what's working for him right now. It's something about having an outsider's perspective that's resonating with voters, someone who's coming in with a fresh view to say, we don't want a career politician, but we'll see how they turn out. We have that same in our governor right now, Governor Rick Scott. He was an outsider and campaign on that same front, not being a career politician. And we have him now, and we'll see how it plays out in Georgia. All
right, Tremel Gomes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Tremel joins us each week to break down the latest in politics from Florida, Georgia, and Washington right here on the News at 6.